Hello, welcome back. Thank you for being here. It is Tuesday, and sincere apologies for yesterday. Yesterday's message stating why I wasn't here only about half accurate. Full disclosure, painfully honest, perhaps more than I should be. I did make it back just in time to walk in. I had appointments. I was out of town and was able to make it back just in time to get here and get behind the desk. And just as I walked in, we had a bit of a indoor flooding situation in the printer portion of the building. Computers, a lot of equipment there, a lot of important things, and a lot of water associated with the rains, which were rather heavy at times last night, which did not change to snow, by the way, because temperatures didn't fall until well up into the morning hours. Yeah, this is a current condition graphic that I'll update in just a few moments when we get to that portion of the program. But bottom center there, 1.24 inches of rain here in downtown Sayersville, and I came in right at the heaviest of it. And fortunately, I came in because of a problem with one of the escape hatches, I'll call it, to the roof, resulted in a lot of that water pouring down inside. And fortunately, I just found it. But 1.25 inches essentially of rain last evening. That was expected to change over to a heavy white snow. However, we were still about 40, 41 degrees then and didn't see below freezing till almost 7 o'clock this morning. So no snow, but flooding resulted in no school for McGoffin and a host of other counties, of course, earlier today. While classes have already been called off for tomorrow, as the district has wanted everyone to know of their mourning alongside the family of Rhonda Gullett, who was a key employee in their school system. Rhonda Gullett is described as being employed as a food service assistant director. She passed away at her home after a very brief illness just a couple of days ago. Day before yesterday, I guess it was. She started her career with the McGoffin County Schools as a cook at SGS back in '04 with a wonderful outgoing personality and love for others and her students and the staff. In 2012, she became the food service assistant director. As a member of the district staff, she was also a very important part of daily operations and exceeded at her job in all that she did. Their heartfelt sympathy and prayers are with her husband, Wade Bub Gullett, and her daughter, Bailey Gullett, who is a teacher at the McGoffin County High School. Her other daughter as well, Courtney Gray of Mount Sterling, with full obituary listings and other information coming up in our funeral service announcements for Rhonda in just a few moments. We're also looking, of course, at other headlines tonight, including a change of plea today for the federal drug case that was, of course, initiated and under investigation by McGoffin County Sheriff Bill Meade's office against Greg Howard. A major proceeding today related to that, and of course the charges against the local elementary school teacher related to domestic violence that is alleged to have taken place at his residence last night, and a host of other news and information, which will include basketball highlights and scores. We're down to 4 and/or 5, depending on which team you're talking about in the viewing area, games left in the regular season. We'll get to all that in just a few seconds. Scanning the scene elsewhere, just a couple of headlines that were on the AP and elsewhere today. A Kentucky doctor that used to be employed with the University of Kentucky has now pled guilty. This was after he ordered over $14 million of equipment and tests while he was employed there from a company identified as ReadyDoc. Company and equipment and test creams, and the list goes on, for patients that were not needful of those items. 7,000 plus patients or individuals for a period of just a little more than a year, dating back to April of 2019, over $14 million fraudulently billed to Medicare. That's a federal case in which he, of course, has pled guilty. And here's a case ongoing, as we have seen here in the state of Kentucky, following suit with a number of other states. We have seen states suing large pharmaceutical companies, some of the biggest. The Kroger chain is now under the microscope of Kentucky's Attorney General Russell Coleman. He showed and shared a lawsuit earlier today against Kroger for what he calls was their part, a big part, in the devastating drug crisis in Kentucky. He claims and alleges that during a period of about 7 years, Kroger did not reported 0 suspicious prescriptions in the state of Kentucky, while at the same time distributing almost 200 million hydrocodone pills to Kentucky's pharmacies, some at alarming rates and numbers. Just the latest of Big Pharma to be a target of a lawsuit by Kentucky and, of course, again, other states. We'll go ahead and go to right now. McGoffin County Schools Superintendent Chris Meadows' statement that he released earlier today. We spoke on a couple of occasions. The official press release that he has submitted to media and news personnel as of right now says that he and the school district is aware of a domestic altercation involving an administrator in the school system that led to criminal charges being filed. The administrator has been suspended pending the outcome of criminal proceedings. That administrator, principal at North McGoffin Elementary, James Keith Isaac, was taken into custody last night by the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department following a 911 call made by his wife. I also reached out to Sheriff Bill Mead earlier today for a statement on behalf of the Sheriff's Department. He, however, was in federal court today for the upcoming story. Just a few moments on the change of plea entered on behalf of Greg Howard. Nevertheless, deputies charged Minix with strangulation in the first degree and assault in the fourth last night. About 7:30 or shortly thereafter last night, McGoffin County Sheriff's deputies Neil Watson and Donovan Watson responded to Harvey Cemetery Road to the residence of the Isaacs, and it was there that they were met at the door with the caller to 911, the wife of Mr. Isaac, who stated that she accused him of strangling her, and she had locked herself in a room until they arrived. When they were met at the door by her, they asked her where her husband was. They found him in the basement sitting on a couch, they say, on his cell phone. They also say sitting beside what was a .45 caliber handgun, an extra magazine for the gun, and 2 large knives, which were removed from his area and or possession. Officer Neil Watson noting in his citation that the authorities observed red marks on both sides of the victim's neck, and that she had informed him that there was an argument that had taken place prior to that over feeding the dogs in the basement, stating that her husband had slapped her phone out of her hand while she was actually on a FaceTime call with the 3-year-old of a friend of hers, and then he began choking her at that time and as well attempted to injure the cat, which was okay. She declined as well, that being the wife, any medical treatment on scene, and was advised on any instructions per the citation to obtain an EPO or otherwise. Isaac bonded out of the Big Sandy Detention Center earlier today and again was suspended per the investigation from his duties as North McGoffin Elementary principal by Superintendent Chris Meadows. Now to the before-mentioned case against Greg Howard. His federal jury trial, was set to begin in just a few days on the 26th of this month. However, just last Thursday, per his attorney, he moved for a rearrangement. That, of course, was granted, that canceling the 26th jury trial, and a court date set for today for an official rearrangement on the case in federal district court in Pikeville. A plea of guilty entered to at least a portion of the charges. Per the plea agreement that he entered into with federal authorities, which still has to be finalized by the district judge, the United States is going to move at official sentencing to dismiss counts 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 of the 17-count indictment. In the plea agreement, it is admitted or recognized by both sides, Howard and the federal government, that he knowingly and intentionally distributed pills containing oxycodone, and that between March of 22 and August of last year, he obtained oxycodone pills from multiple suppliers and then worked together with others to sell those pills in McGoffin and the Eastern District of Kentucky. He would use an associate to make deliveries of the pills to customers, and others sometimes would obtain them directly at his residence. And on or around August the 3rd of 2023, the Sheriff's Department, assisted with federal authorities, used a confidential informant one of numerous times to make a controlled purchase of oxycodone. During that particular occasion, $520 for 4 oxycodone 20 milligram tablets and 1 30 milligram pill. The controlled purchase was one of about at least 15 that they made directly from Howard, and they also made 3 from his associate, who's also charged, and 2 of those were at Howard's own residence. And between March of 2022 and August of 23, law enforcement twice searched the defendant's residence and on one occasion seized over $14,000 in cash and the other $23,000 in cash. With the plea agreement, he waives his right to appeal the guilty plea and conviction, and if he violates any part of his agreement, the United States can void the agreement and seek an indictment for any violations of federal laws, and he would not have any right to challenge the initiation of additional federal charges. There's also a forfeiture portion to this. Right now, the only details are the cash and property that presumptuously would be his residence and or property. That has not been listed as of yet. His final sentencing has now been set for May the 23rd. While a co-defendant in the case, considered to be one of his associates, Jesse Merle, his trial is still on the books for the original date, and there's been no changes there. Going back to Howard, as for the time he will serve in federal prison this time, that also was not specified in the plea agreement. We are estimating that to be anywhere between 10 to 15 years, with, of course, 85% of whatever he does receive to serve. At least 85%. A lot more to talk about. Let's talk about tonight's calendar real quickly. It starts with the birthday. Love that. First, though, or thereafter, I should say, a reminder about commodities at the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center and a few other important things brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau.
Atrial fibrillation is one of the more common rhythms we see.
AFib is an arrhythmia of the heart where the top part of the heart is beating erratically and out of sync with the bottom part of the heart.
The electrophysiology service is made up of a team of healthcare providers, and that includes an electrophysiology lab where we're able to do procedures to help repair heart rhythm problems. When a patient becomes heart rhythm free, it can really restore their life.
ARH, more for Appalachia.
Cooked cabbage is back at your Sagersville Lee's, and so is the low-carb plate. I mean, yes, you can call it a low-carb plate because it is. There's barely any carbs in it, but it's also one of the tastiest meals we've got. And the healthiest, low-carb or not. With juicy roast strips, our famous green beans, and yes, that tasty cooked cabbage. A taste and flavor all its own, and only at your Sagersville Lee's. Someone dies in the U.S. every 7 minutes from an overdose, and over half of the population gets or takes pills from a friend or a relative. And about 46 million and counting are exposed to narcotics in their drinking water. So don't toss them, flush them, or leave them lying around. Safely dispose of your unneeded meds anytime at Parkway Pharmacy,
where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
You've seen the forecast, right? You know what season it is, so it is time to get ready. With New Year deals that are worth up to $200 off a new set of tires, and get your car running like new with only a $35 state-of-the-art computer diagnosis, and save all the payments for later with 6 months same as cash at Conley Tire and ConleyTire.net. Sagersville National Bank hopes to help you start the new year with financial freedom and peace of mind. From new services like Apple and Google Pay with your debit card, to their more than century of being dedicated to being your personal or business banking institution, they're here for you with digital, phone, or in-person banking at both locations. Going to tonight's community calendar this Thursday, day after tomorrow, the 15th day of February, a little early because of the calendar and how it falls. Commodities at the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center. Couple of things we need to remind everyone, all the clients out there. It's relatively, well, it's still a new year essentially, and they need your household income guidelines per the USDA commodities program that is effective February of this year, and there are the household sizes, of course, that qualify. A household size of one person can make up to 16, or have an income of $1,632 a month, and all the way down to 8 plus. Bottom line is whatever yours is, it needs to be brought in, or you need to get it to the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center. All clients need to do a new application this Thursday, Commodity Day. If you've got a few minutes or a few hours, more importantly, to go out and help, please, as we always try to encourage so many folks to take out a little time. If everyone just kind of rotated, and if you did this month, few next, and it would be a great, great asset and assistance to them. Commodities this Thursday at the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center. Okay, now, we're a little bit out of order here tonight, but let's go now the birthday segment of the program. Happy birthday, Riggs Rao. Belated birthday wishes. 42nd birthday now and a few days since. Love, family, and friends. Happy birthday, Riggs Rao. Happy birthday to you. We'll get caught up on other announcements and just one more for you tonight and upcoming soon, as the graphic's about to catch up with me. Our next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive has been set, and the super cool long sleeve T-shirt, "Be Humankind." I like to have these folks working here. They come up with some great slogans and advertising lines, taglines, and like "Be Humankind." That's good. That's just good. Give blood. Syersville First Baptist Church, Friday the 23rd, 1 till 5. You, of course, can call for an appointment, make one online, or you can show up. Walk-ins are as well welcome. Next blood drive in McGoffin County, Friday the 23rd. That's not this Friday, but the following. And any Friday, any Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the calendar is here for your needs, birthdays, and anniversaries too. Just tell me what you need everyone else to know. Next funeral service announcements begin, first of all, with 48-year-old Vanessa Gardner Sloan of Prestonsburg, formerly of Syersville. She passed away on Friday, survived by her parents Clayton and Pauline Gardner, her husband Malcolm Sloan, stepsons Malcolm Dwayne, Chad, and Jason Sloan, her sister Angela Burchett, nephew Landon Brickey, and niece Delana Lorraine Brickey. Services for Vanessa Sloan are going to be held this Wednesday at 11 from the Syersville Funeral Home. Visitation tonight and up until services start tomorrow. A church service will be conducted tonight at 7 as well. And in lieu of flowers, the family has requested contributions to be made to the Vanessa Gardner Sloan Memorial Fund at the John M. Stumbo Elementary School for school activities for the kids. Services will be tomorrow at 1 for 54-year-old Rhonda Sue Russell Gullett of Syersville. She passed away Sunday at her home. Preceded in death by her mother, Mary Sue Jackson Russell, and a son, Evan Gullett. She's survived by her husband, Wade, her father, Ronnie Russell, her kids, Bailey Gullett and Courtney Gray, and her sister, Kim Jenkins. Services again tomorrow at 1 from the Harold Stewart and Halsey Funeral Home in West Liberty. Visitation tonight at the funeral home.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small-town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Regardless of what season it is, you can always find fan favorites of the Ville, Salyersville, at the seasonal shop. For the dudes, Duke and Cannon, Turn Rose, and more. And always something for all the Hornet fans. And for all the ladies, it's always Wildcat season, and it all changes daily. That's why you always have to make a stop at the seasonal shop just next door to Fraser's Prater Drug Store. The best place for all your prescription, over-the-counter, and Radio Shack needs, with some of the very best hometown lunch specials and treats. They're a pair like you can find nowhere else but in Salyersville. There where every day starts, it's made and it ends. From hitting the floor to hitting the road and back, your feet carry the day's duties. And if you're hurting from what might be a work or sports or stress-related fracture you don't even know about, diabetic, or that all too often heel pain that just won't go away, or any type of pain or discomfort or in need of... Let's talk about high school basketball for a moment. A lot happening, still a lot to happen in a short period of time. District play is pretty much all but over for the 57th district. We know pretty much who's going to be seated where in the district tournament, which is going to be at Martin County High School this year, not so many days from now, as we still have 4 to 5 games, and that's it left for these teams on the regular season schedule. 4 to go for the McGoffin County Hornets. Going back a few days, it was a loss last Wednesday to Ashland Blazer, but they've won their last 3 in a row. Back-to-back games against Paintsville Friday and Saturday, here and there. 2 big district games. And then last night it was at Central for another district matchup and win. Final score 82-74. Central came out on their home floor ahead at the end of the first 16-13. I think McGoffin County outscored them in the second and in the third. Final score last night was 82-74. The boys from McGoffin 4-2 and are next hosting Betsy Lane tomorrow night. Lady Hornet basketball, they've got 4 games to go. They were on the road last night at Prestonsburg, a loss 30-18. They are at Phelps this Thursday night, and again 4 games left on their regular season schedule. Couldn't pick up a district win this year, and with that we'll talk about exactly where everyone in the 57th district is sitting in just a few moments when we get through the schedules here and scores. And as we go to Johnson Central and the Golden Eagles, 5 games left. It was last night, of course, as I said, a loss to McGoffin County here in McGoffin at Johnson, 74-82. Central at 11-9, 2-4 in the district. They are at Belfry this Thursday night, and they will be hosting Knott County Friday, and that's their last home game of the season. They've actually just got 4 games because I see one now has just been canceled for Floyd Central, so Central's got 4 games left. 4 games for the Lady Eagles. Wednesday of last week, they hosted Martin County and lost by 3, 21-2, only their second loss and the first loss of any team in the state of Kentucky that they've played this season. 63-45 was, however, their score at Scott County Saturday over the weekend. That puts them at 21-2, hosting Harlan County tonight for the Lady Eagles at 7. Again, more on the 57th in a second. Tiger basketball, 5 games to go. Saturday night, it was a road game, as we mentioned earlier briefly, at McGoffin. It was a 53-67 loss to McGoffin. And then tonight, they are at Lawrence County. Tip-off set for 7:30. Paintsville Tigers 10-13, winless in the district. And they've got a tough Martin County as the only district game left. From there, it is Lady Tiger basketball, 5 games left, and that is it. After a double overtime loss to Raceland last night, the Lady Tigers are at 13-10. They are at Morgan County tomorrow night. Tip-off set for 4:30 for Lady Tiger and Lady Cougar basketball. Lawrence County and the Bulldogs, 5 games left. Saturday night, they were on the road at Eastridge, 78-51. 3 wins in a row for the Bulldogs. Tonight, they are hosting Paintsville, and that is set for 7:30. They are 20-4 right now. Coach Thompson and his Bulldogs are rolling on a 20-4 season and 5-1 in the 58th district. And for the Lady Dogs, a loss to Knott County last night, 32-43 after 3 wins in a row. Still a 19-9 run thus far. They are 5-1 in the 58th district, and they're hosting Shelby Valley tonight. Now let's talk about the 57th district. With essentially all the games in, not all, but enough to know who's going to be seeded mostly for who in the district. And as far as the district tournament, well, it is essentially, for the most part, I want to stress, been set with those games left in the regular season schedule and most district play, most but not all, completed. In the ladies, in the 57th, the McGoffin County Lady Hornets will assume the 4th seed as they have a 0-6 record right now in the 57th. Paintsville and the Lady Tigers look to be the 3 seed. I think they've had a loss to Martin and a loss to Central, 2-4 right now in the district. The ladies from Martin County are split, as I interpret it, with the ladies of Johnson Central. Martin in their district has 5 wins, 1 loss, a loss to Central. Johnson Central suffered only their second loss just a few days ago on Wednesday night by 3 to Martin County. So they split. They're both 5-1. I assume that's a coin toss to happen, or yet to happen, or has happened or yet to happen. While for the boys, it looks as though Paintsville and the Tigers will be the 4th seed, 0-5. They've got a district game left. They're playing Martin County this Friday. Martin County beat them by 12 in the first game in the regular season. 3rd seed looks to go to Central, who is 2-4. They swept Paintsville, but got swept by McGoffin and Martin County, respectively. Looks as though the Hornets will be the number 2 seed at 4-2. They swept both Paintsville and Central, and as I told you last week, could not do anything with Martin County and lost both games of the regular season. And right now, Martin is sitting at a 5-0 run right now, and like I said, their last game is at Paintsville versus Paintsville. So regardless of how that one turns out, it's kind of insignificant. It won't change anything. So Martin's the number 1 seed, McGoffin the 2, Central the 3, and Paintsville the 4. And that means Martin and Paintsville will play each other, and Central and the Hornets. All right. Here's how we're shaping up weather-wise. Still pretty decent temperature-wise. That's not necessarily going to last the whole 7 day. 34 degrees tonight, partly cloudy. We are at 46 right now and falling. 47 technically and falling. Winds are calm right now. Sunrise 7:25, sunset 6:10. Southwesterly winds 5 to 8 tomorrow. 54 degrees for your Valentine's Day. Nice day tomorrow. Partly sunny, some southwesterly winds up to 15 miles per hour, but low to mid 50s, and some sunshine, sure, with some winds, but a nice dry, albeit slightly breezy Valentine's Day ahead of you. Thursday, mostly sunny, 57, 32, your high, your low. Showers, rain chances not until after 4 o'clock or so. We'll put them at 20%, and we'll keep them there throughout the rest of your Thursday night. With that, we'll see winds. Pretty good breezy conditions up to 28, maybe 30 miles per hour on and off Thursday afternoon, even still 20 tomorrow night. And then that blows out of here. And Friday, we'll see partly sunny and 48, and then no activity. But that night, like maybe after midnight, another 20% chance of some rain or snow that carries into your Saturday. Because of that scenario, knocks us down from 48 and sunny Friday to 35. Breezy, 30% chance of rain and snow on your Saturday. We'll have clear skies Saturday night and a nice clear sunshine-filled day on your Sunday, hitting about 45 and 29 that night for your high and your low. So we're going to recover after some pretty chilly conditions on your Saturday. Monday of next week, recovering even more, 52 sunny with a 20% chance of rain, I think, which is also Washington's birthday on the calendar, by the way. And Tuesday of next week, right now, we're going to post it as a ditto. Again, 52, 34, mostly sunny, and about a 20% chance of rain. So I don't want to say absolutely something of everything in the forecast, but kind of something of almost everything in the forecast. And with that said, I'm out of time. Thank you for being a part of the show. I will see you back here tomorrow night.